Welcome to Women's Rugby Rundown 213 for August 25th through the 31st. This weekend, the Rugby World Cup delivered some incredible drama, solidifying the teams headed for the knockout stage. Again, it was a weekend of firsts, from record-breaking wins to historic qualifications, all of which to set the stage for an explosive final round of pool play. But let's get into the results from round 2 of the Rugby World Cup. First, we have to look at the thrilling 31-31 draw between the United States and Australia, which left one quarterfinal spot still up for grabs. For the United States, it's a must-win game against Samoa this weekend, where they'll need a bonus point to even have a chance at qualifying. For Australia, they just need any bonus point. They can beat England, tough to do. They can get within 7 for a bonus point, or they can score 4 tries to get a bonus point. If they don't do any of that, then they have to manage the losing margin to protect their 135-point lead over the Eagles. Now let's move on to the teams that have already punched their ticket to the quarterfinals. Canada continued their perfect run, dominating Wales with a 42-0 victory. This win secured their spot in the knockouts and saw Tyson Bukaboom become her nation's equal most capped rugby player of all time. Scotland also made history, reaching the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002 after beating Fiji 29-15. The win was definitely a hard-fought battle, with tries from Francesca McGee and Ronna Lloyd sealing the deal. Meanwhile, the Red Roses continued to show their power with a dominant 92-3 victory over Samoa, scoring a record-breaking 14 tries. Jess Breach led the scoring with a hat trick, while Helena Rowland had 25 points on her own. Even with the lopsided score, a huge moment happened when Samoa's Harmony Vata'o kicked a penalty, getting her nations their first points of the World Cup. Ireland clinched a bonus point win over a determined Spanish team, securing their place in the quarterfinals. That score 43-27. The Irish were in control in that second half, but a special moment came when Linda Jujang celebrated her 50th test cap. Even though New Zealand beat Japan 62-19, they had to work for their win. The victory secured a quarterfinal spot and was highlighted by a record-setting try from veteran Portia Woodman-Wycliffe, who became her nation's all-time top try scorer, regardless of gender. The game also featured a breakout performance from teenage phenom Braxton Sorsen-McGee, who scored a hat trick and added 4 conversions to her team's tally. South Africa has been just such an awesome team to watch at this World Cup. Their entrance videos have just been a vibe, but they made history over the weekend. They beat Italy 29-24 and a nail-biter to secure their spot in the knockout stage. This is their second straight bonus point victory. This is the first time ever that South Africa will have reached the quarterfinals as well, so double history for them this weekend. It may have not been the result that Italy's Sofia Stefan wanted, but 100 caps is a monumental feat for her. And finally, France absolutely dominated Brazil with a crushing 84-5 victory. The French team's depth and power were on full display, but the emotional highlight came from Brazil's Bianca Silva, who scored her country's first ever Rugby World Cup try. Matches for round 3 of the Rugby World Cup start Saturday, September 6th. First up is Canada versus Scotland. This is a battle for the top spot in Pool B, with the winner earning a more favorable knockout seed. The loser will likely face a tough matchup against England. USA versus Samoa is the most crucial match of the weekend. The United States must get a bonus point win to keep their quarter hopes alive. Wales versus Fiji is going to be very interesting. Both teams eliminated from quarterfinal contention, but this game's all about pride and ending the tournament on a high note. England versus Australia. The quarterfinal spot still on the line for Australia. It's a massive one for them. They will need to manage the losing margin against a top-ranked England team and get a bonus point any way they can. Japan versus Spain. Both again are eliminated from the knockout stages, but they're playing to prove who is the better emerging rugby nation. Italy versus Brazil. This is a chance for both sides to finish their tournament with a win. Italy is coming off a heartbreaking loss against South Africa, while Brazil is still buzzing from scoring their first ever Rugby World Cup try. New Zealand versus Ireland. Both teams have qualified, but this is a high-stakes clash to determine who will win Pool C and gets a better seed in the quarterfinals. France versus South Africa. Both teams are into the quarterfinals, but this match will determine who wins Pool D. South Africa is riding a massive wave of momentum, and while France will look to assert themselves as a true contender. In the semifinals of the 2025 International Defence Rugby Competition, Fiji and France have advanced to the Cup final. In the Challenge Cup, Tonga and the Vodafone Looseheads will compete in the Challenge Playoff, while Australia and Zambia will face off in the Challenge Cup final. The bronze match will be contested between Ireland and the UK. In Premier and Club Rugby, the only active competition is the Dr Farah Palmer Cup. Unbeaten streaks were broken in the Premiership as Auckland and Canterbury both suffered their first losses. Meanwhile, the Otago Spirit remains undefeated, continuing its strong performance in the championship. That's all for this week's Women's Rugby Rundown. Make sure to tune in for the final round of pool play in the Rugby World Cup recap next week. And never miss one of our episodes. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or Patreon. And be sure to follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms.